Yeah, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very, very special, I won't say it's finale yet. I lost my voice, as you can tell. Argentina took on France in a ridiculous game, folks. You could not rest from the first minute to the last minute. It looked like Argentina was cruising for a little while, and then France just turned it on, turned the plot on its head, and it ended up in penalties. Guys, I don't know where to even start. Yeah, Kevin, let me hear your first thoughts on this game.
I was a bit surprised how slow France came out of the blocks. I mean, Argentina totally ran the game for about 35 minutes.
Yeah.
It might even be the entire first half forced Deschamps to two early changes. I maybe would not have taken off Giroud just yet, but it obviously worked because I think after the changes they were able to deal with Di Maria, which I thought was the main threat to Argentina. Yes, Messi was good, but I think everything that flowed through Di Maria was positive. And he scored the second goal, won the penalty for the first goal. And I think after the changes, we all questioned Deschamps' changes, but I think they were able to handle Di Maria after that, and they came back into the game. I've been alive for 9 World Cups, actively present for 7.
5,000 years.
And yeah, don't mind the boyish good looks. I'm a lot older than I look. But this has been, Qatar's given us the best World Cup and the best World Cup final I've ever witnessed in all my years. And it's a fitting end to the greatest show on earth.
Yes, James.
Yeah, I totally agree with what Kevin's sentiments there. I mean, it was a fantastic performance. I mean, from both teams, because even though, yes, I thought France obviously started very slow, and I would question also Deschamps' changes. I thought the fact that they were able to get it over the line at the end and push it into penalties showed a lot about the resilience of the players. But kudos to Argentina. It's a fantastic result. I mean, obviously Messi then gets his hand on the trophy.
Yep.
But I think, you've got to give a lot of credit to, for example, Martinez, because it was a save
At the end.
at the end of the game that was magnificent. And if it was not for that save, the game
They
would
were
have been
done.
a very different way. So, I mean, all in all, I think Argentina, they lost the first game, opening the tournament, and they came back very strong. They were able to get this result. And as I say, they have to take a lot of credit. Scaloni has done a fantastic job. He's brought the team together. Messi stood up. Alvarez stood up. Martinez stood up. De Paul, so many of them stood up.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, even although France, they had their little issues before the game in terms of illnesses, I thought they did start very slow, but then they built momentum in the game. And it looked as if it could have went anyway, but like I say, fantastic job to Argentina, and they have to get a lot of credit.
Yes, of course, folks, we always go through our usual analysis. We're still recovering from at least I am, from that insane game. I'll use the word insane, it was ridiculous. But, we have somebody, a special guest, Mr. Zane Coker. Let's have him, come on the mic and tell us what he has to say.
So Zane, come on and let us know what you thought of the game. So my good friend here, so there you go.
Good day. Pleasant good day. Simply amazing.
Correct.
Simply amazing. I think that we, and a lot of people haven't really understood what they have just witnessed in the football world. I've listened to my boy here, and I've been present for 7 World Cups.
Yeah.
Right, from France '98 onwards, and I think that this has been the most prolific World Cup final ever. It's been simply amazing. I'm really, 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 really happy.
Yeah, we are all speechless right now. We were getting ready to do the show, folks, and we're trying to put together notes like we usually do. Everybody's recovering, and it's just a hard time. We were saying, what are we going to say? There's so much to talk about. It's going to be like a 3-hour show. We can't do that. We'd love to do that, but we can't. So obviously, before we speak about Argentina, we'll get to that. France, these two teams definitely showed how worthy they are of the final adversaries. France, most teams would have given up after that. It really looked like they were out. And they showed a lot of character to come back in, and even had Argentina in the ropes a good, I would say, large periods. And, it was just end to end. It was like a chess match. One punch, the other punch. If we speak about tactics, it would just do the game injustice, because it started off okay, like a straightforward match. We heard people at halftime saying, what's wrong with France, France turns it on. And then to me, the key turning point was when the midfield changes were made for France. We all disagreed with the substitutions, Kevin. We were kind of scratching our heads. Yeah. Maybe it has something to do with the flu. Maybe we'll hear about it soon. Kevin and I and James, in our preview, we discussed that Giroud would have been an aerial threat. Whenever there was a set piece, we were looking at each other and like, oh no, this is going to be trouble. So, me and a man who plays the game on the beach, of course, one of the fun places to do it. What do you think about the goalkeeping performances from both keepers?
Ooh, goalkeeping has been magnificent from all aspects. I don't think that we will ever see another goalkeeping performance as these two goalkeepers have done during the entire World Cup.
Yep.
But kudos to France. I mean, from the coaches' point of view, we realize that these coaches are magnificent coaches.
Yep.
From any point of view.
Yeah.
However, on the pitch, there is no coach. And these are where big players come up at big times.
Correct.
And at 70 minutes into the game, we thought that Mbappe really did not come to the final.
Yep.
But then,
Switch it on.
just like that,
Correct.
Mbappe showed the world exactly what he was capable of,
Yep.
and that changed the entire game.
Yep. Completely turn it on its head.
From the goalkeeper's point of view, I think Hugo Lloris was magnificent.
Correct.
Martinez going through his journey into this game. I mean, me being a goalkeeper myself.
That's right. That's what we asked you, yeah?
It's crazy, but I don't think that people understand what they have just witnessed.
Yep.
Because even into the end of the game, Martinez pulled off a really big one.
Yes.
Where France could have won.
Yep.
And it's it's ecstatic, it's crazy.
Yep.
But this is what the World Cup is about, and I think that the both teams has shown prolific experience, and this is something to look forward to for the future. Apart from the Argentine fans, and apart from the French fans, and apart from everybody else who was so and so, the bandwagonists and whoever, or the Messi fans and whoever,
Yeah.
I think that the PSG fans, and I think I need to say this.
Oh,
because
boy.
I think that the PSG fans has won this World Cup.
Shade being thrown.
Because Mbappe and Messi both play on the same team.
Oh.
And I think that the PSG fans has won this World Cup. And then
Oh, here we go. Here we go. He's back. Eager to come on. Eager to make the
sad to
substitutions.
say, not sad to say, but I mean, we are going to be looking at Mbappe for the next couple years to come. He's a young guy, and he has about maybe probably three World Cups in his
Yep.
in his realm.
Yep.
For
One
sure.
keeper for the next. That's how we rotate our squads on EXTV. So James, we're gonna come back in. We're gonna have a special interview with Zayn afterwards. We'll talk some more. You know, PSG fan over there, whatever. Kevin and I
just thinking to replace a man as amazing as this is a privilege.
Oh my goodness. The flattery.
It's a pleasure.
Definitely.
Well, flattery will get you everywhere.
Yeah, flattery.
And enjoy, have fun.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot. So, folks, you know, usually we do tactics, we do possession. There's so much incidents in this game to talk about. We spoke about Argentina being in control for the first 70 minutes or so. Di Maria being very influential. What happened? What do you think where Argentina lost the plot a little bit?
Well, I think just to hold up a little bit there, we have a few fans because sometimes it's not about me, it's not about Kevin, it's not about you. We have fans right here that can give us their opinion.
Yes, yes.
I think it's very important. So, first, I mean, obviously Argentina won, so we'll bring Brian in.
Yes,
Family
yes.
and a friend. So, Brian, what did you think was the big turning points, or what do you think made this game?
I think what made this game, was the fact that Scaloni decided to park the bus by bringing in defensive players, and that is where I think they lost the plot, and that's where they released Mbappe, because they were able to hold Mbappe down, and the penalty is what brought them back into the game. It revitalized the French, but don't count out a man they call Lionel Messi. Don't count him out.
Yes.
I told you in the game against Australia.
He did, folks.
I did say this
Yep.
is our World Cup.
I'll put video evidence.
And every Martinez came up big.
Yes.
Came up big in the dying part of the match with
Correct.
that goal-saving match. Right? And then came with those 2 penalty saves. And I have to say that this victory is not only for Lionel Messi.
Yep.
This victory is for Diego Maradona.
Yep.
This is for the man.
Yes.
This final had everything.
Yep.
It had excitement, it had drama, it had intensity. This was the final of all finals, as
Yes.
far as I'm concerned.
Correct.
Lionel Messi, this was his year. This was his tournament. We lost the first game, everybody said, "Oh, we're going home."
Yep.
And I said, no. We won after every game.
Think again, folks.
Every game we won. You know why? This is what matters. That is what matters.
Correct.
We had the 3rd star. Next World Cup is the World Cup of definition.
Yes.
Where we will see all the young stars of this World Cup will come into the next World Cup.
Correct.
Alvarez, exceptional striker. We got the young player of the year of that tournament. And he is going to be in the next World Cup, which is Hernandez.
Yep.
This is the Argentina of the future as well.
Yes.
Who comes in number 10? We will see. But Lionel Messi.
Correct.
And I'll say that third time. Lionel Messi.
That's 3 times.
Let that name exonerate.
Yes.
Everybody said he ain't getting nothing. Listen, it was proven in the stars. And we get in the third star.
Oh, yeah. Have to upgrade, folks.
You understand?
Yeah.
This was the World Cup of all World Cups. Lionel Messi.
Yes, folks. We're going to say that because
Greatest of all time.
we have lots of footage.
The GOAT.
We have lots of footage of me and this guy celebrating. So he said what he said in a previous interview. In case you're doubting this guy, I'll put it up as well on our Instagram. Check it out. We clearly stated that Argentina.
We're going to win.
This is there. So
and we will win. And
kudos,
we did win.
Kudos. And listen.
Greatest of all time.
What we're going to do is, after we do the show, we're going to continue our celebrations, I guess. For the neutrals, I guess,
And I'll say one thing before we go.
Yes.
Where else to enjoy this final? Smokey and Bunty.
That's right.
Smokey and Bunty. National iconic place. National place.
Yes.
And we always say that God is a Trini, but the God of football is Diego Maradona. And his son of football, the
Yes.
son of God,
Yes.
is Lionel Messi.
Yes.
That we talking about.
Listen, folks, and obviously we have someone else. From the other side of the the coin. There's always going to be a winner. There's always going to be somebody that was defeated. France put up a good battle, more than good. So here we have once again Gregory. He returns. Come into the frame a little bit more. Let's see you. So Gregory, two of us, we spoke before the game. We tried to be as classy as possible. We shake hands afterwards because there's a nice way to do this, folks. And two of us were on the opposite side of the coin. And we had fun, we had our ups and downs, we both looked at each other, and we had our highs and lows. Gregory, let's hear your thoughts.
I mean, at the end of the day, I share everybody's sentiments. I think my first World Cup was in 1994 World Cup in the United States. I think my 3 favorite finals have all been shootouts.
Yeah.
The one in 94, the 2006 final between Italy and France.
Yep.
And today,
Yeah.
I think this just...
Folks,
Yeah, he
we're
just
having a
had to
party
do
here.
that.
It's not done.
Brian in the background being himself. I mean, he spoke like a real politician, if we're being honest.
Yes, he did. I won't lie.
Yeah, but
I cannot stop and listen.
Yeah, I mean, I have to give credit where it's due. Anytime a game goes into a shootout, especially a game of this magnitude, it's always going to be hard. There's a lot of hairs that are split in situations like this. But there was a lot of that's gonna be going on all day.
Yes.
I'll
be joining them soon.
It was a lot of back and forth between the two sides. Like you guys said, the first half Argentina had the majority of it, and it looked like it was gonna be a cut and dry situation. But then again, I thought back to the quarterfinal match against the Netherlands. I'm like, these games have been games of two halves.
Correct.
And
So
France,
it was.
France showing that, you know what, we're not out of it just yet, getting the opportunity. Like was said, Mbappe scoring the penalty, and then 97 seconds later, an equalizer. And I mean, this place was just absolutely mad at one point. I mean, I'll hold my hand up. I mean, I went up with the camera doing a celebration a couple of times.
I don't blame you at all.
I had my moments there, but
The passion, folks.
Yes, that's what football can bring out of grown men. If the opposite sex doesn't understand, sit down and watch a football game with a man for like 90 minutes, and then you'll understand what passion is really about. But when it was all said and done, it was a really it was a cutthroat match.
Yep.
It was not one of those games where anybody could have been decided, because like you said, there were moments. Hey, so many distractions today.
Yes.
We can excuse it.
There's a lot of things going on here, folks.
There's a lot of celebration. I mean, I'll be, like I said, I'll be the gracious loser. Congratulations again. But like I said, this was one of those games where it could have gone either way.
Yep.
It was swinging in so many directions. There was this one instance where I thought Moani could have scored that header had he put it on target.
Yep.
I don't think Martinez would have saved it, but unfortunately it didn't work out for him. That save Lloris put down that was from I think it was either Martinez or Messi hits. I can't remember which one of them.
Yeah.
But that was a stunning save, because I swore that had top corner written all over it.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show that it was so balanced in that regard of how the momentum was swinging. Nobody could have said that they had dominance throughout that whole match.
Correct.
Yeah. And when it came down to penalties, there were a couple of them I couldn't even look at.
Yeah.
But
I looked at none.
yes. Yeah, no, you always have this pensive look.
Yeah, yeah.
Your head in your hands,
Yes,
you're just
yes.
turning the other way, just trying not to show too much emotion until the match is over.
Yep.
And credit to you guys. I mean, Argentina had a very complete team
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of players on that team that have really solidified themselves. The likes of Messi and Di Maria,
Yeah.
who have been mainstays from previous tournaments. Julian Alvarez is going to be one of those players. All right, he has a World Cup to his name. Nicolas Otamendi can retire in peace if he chooses to.
Yeah.
Emi Martinez, as much as I can't stand the guy when he plays for Aston Villa.
I understand.
Yeah, but all in all, I mean, he did what he had to do.
Mm-hmm.
He got into the French players' head when it came to the shootout, messed with them, and it worked.
Correct.
So everything was tactical, and you have to give credit. We are giving credit to Lionel Messi and all the other players. We still have to give credit to Lionel Scaloni
Yeah.
for the work that he has done over the period of time that he's been in charge.
Yes.
To take them to that win in the Copa America, and then now going to this. 2 consecutive tournaments, 2 consecutive victories.
Correct.
So that shows that he wasn't the biggest name coming into this tournament.
Yeah, there was a lot of doubts.
But tactically, he had the best things, the best tactics in mind to help them win that game.
Correct.
Made it a situation where it didn't have to be give everything to Messi. A lot of players came into the game. You saw the likes of Alvarez and Enzo Fernandez and other players getting their opportunities. Excuse me.
Yeah.
A lot of talking.
Yeah.
But again, congratulations to Argentina. I'm losing my voice already. What's going
Yeah.
on?
It's a big part. Listen, we're all. I'm surprised his mic's even picking up anything.
Effects of the game. Effects of the game.
We were shouting our lungs out.
Again, congratulations. I had to do it again. We had this on video, but that's
Yes,
one time.
Thank you, sir.
Being the gracious one.
Classy.
The torch.
Classy.
We do what we have to do.
Yes.
Again, this was a great final. It's probably the best final I've ever seen in a long time. Qatar, well done. It's a shame your team couldn't get out the group, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yes, yes. Once again, Gregory, thanks a lot. Gregory was our FIFA prize winner. We'll put it, the lovely picture of that up as well. We'll play each other online. Guys, it's down to the 3 of us once more. The 3 Musketeers, as always, or whatever you want to call us. Tres Amigos. So, I don't even know where to start. Those guys did really well. And folks, these are the kind of intelligent fans we have. They gave their own analysis where it kind of made our work easy. Because, as I said for the 4th time, Argentina looked like they were in control, Kevin. Then they seemed to make some defensive substitutions, and it just kind of went off the ball. So we could kind of summarize what they were saying. Kevin, we saw when France turned it on, and it looked like France was going to take the game. What do you think went wrong for Argentina in that little period? And we know everybody kind of touched on it, but what do you think really went wrong?
Well, I think earlier in the game, I think maybe it was either the France-Australia game or maybe the other one where I made a comment that France seems to have this 5th gear that they go into. They don't play in it all game, but they seem to go into this 5th gear. And I think we saw that they went into the 5th gear and Argentina were on the back foot for the most of it. As I say, coaches make decisions based on the game. We were watching it out here. We were saying, well, Giroud, Dembele, big names. But maybe they were saying that they weren't able to. I think Argentina that press was probably the best press I've seen all tournament.
Yeah.
And they were realizing that they weren't able to get the ball to Giroud because, the press was in the middle. So, maybe the changes, in hindsight were very good changes where they had players, little tricky players with the feints, with the dummies that could beat the press and win the foul, get the ball forward, and it worked for them. I thought though that France were in between a rock and a hard place. They had to make changes to win the game, but they had to take out what I would have think was their penalty takers. Griezmann, Dembele, Giroud definitely had to be 3 penalty kickers, and but they had to win the game. They had to get back into the game to push it to penalties. So that's the life of a coach sometimes. It's a tough life. James, I'll pass it on to you to give your thoughts. We haven't heard from you in a while.
Yes. It's been a while, James.
One of the things I would say is I agree with everything you said, but there was a moment in the game that I thought there was a little glance to Mbappe, and he literally grabbed the game by the socks, pulled up his socks and said, you know what, I want this, because it looked as if Mbappe went to play in the centre. Obviously, once the substitutions were made, he played centre forward. But actually, about 15 minutes later, he went back out wide, and that was when they got the favour. So, yes, the coaches make the decisions, but I think a lot of it has to go on his shoulders. He said, you know what, enough's enough. I am a great player. I can, take this to Argentina, and I think he did that. And then when he drifted back outside, one of the things Mbappe does is he drifts outside and then drifts inside. I mean, as I say, he's not necessarily a wide player, he's not necessarily a centre forward, and he plays in that little half space in between.
Correct.
And when he actually started to do that, that was when the lights started to flicker for France,
Yep.
and things started to go their way. Even the chances they had that, they just missed at the end was because of him doing that. So to me, you've got to give him a lot of credit. Have we underrated him probably in the past? Maybe because we were in the time of the two greats, Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously people will say now that Messi now took a step up, but at the end of the day, you've got to give Mbappe a lot of credit. It's a hat-trick. He then stood up and took his penalty in the penalty shootout as well. So, in theory, there's nothing he did wrong in the whole game. I mean, I think from a French coaching perspective, the changes that Didier Deschamps made kind of crippled them when it came to penalties. He did not have the penalty takers on there, but again, you can't take anything away from Scaloni and from Argentina. They had a phenomenal performance. I think we spoke about your Messis, but I think you have to give a lot of credit to McAllister, your De Pauls,
Correct.
Di Maria periods of the game. I mean, they're guys that are probably the unsung heroes because of the limelight and the Messi kind of situation. So, I mean, and then Martinez as well. You take out those players, I honestly don't know if Argentina was to win the game.
Yep.
Not taking anything away from Messi because he's phenomenal, he's world class, but to me, one thing that Argentina have showed, and this is probably something that your Portugals, your Germanys, your Spains lacked. They have big players, but did the other players around show up? They did not.
Yeah.
Argentina did,
Yeah.
and that's why they have their fans on this trophy here.
Yes. Because one key thing I noticed when just before we got to the 90-minute mark and they equalized, he did the usual, what I thought substitutions that made sense. He tried to reinforce the left. He did it in the Copa America, folks. Those who saw when he played Brazil, it's actually exactly the same thing. And he tried to shut things down. He brought on Acuna, who's usually very solid, but then the midfield, I think, kind of ran out of gas, and they started to just lose their grip for a while. And what I thought was a bit of a dangerous game, but it worked now. We could look back now, but at the time it looked crazy. Scaloni took a while to kind of change his midfield guys before he brought in Paredes. And I don't know, you guys think that was strategic where France did have the momentum. They looked like they were going to take the game away. Then Paredes and those guys comes in. Now, to be fair, Paredes is a bit of a hothead. Got the handball and so on. Reckless in the tackles a little bit. But he does add a little bit of zip and energy towards the end of the game. Lautaro as well took a little bit of pressure. Alvarez seemed like he ran out of gas. McAllister ran his legs out. And I think now when I look back, those substitutions were very key.
No, they were definitely. I mean, I think that's one thing I would say about Scaloni today. He made the right substitutions at the right time.
Yeah.
The one thing I want to hone back in on a little bit is people talk about Messi, how he drifts out of games and he kind of walks.
Yeah.
And that's something I saw from Mbappe today. So is he learning from Messi? Because they say that Mbappe loves Ronaldo, but he's playing with Messi.
Yeah.
So has he learned from Messi? And to me, that's what happened today. I mean, we were talking at half-time. It was as if there was no Mbappe for periods of the game.
Yeah.
And then, boom, he came in and he did it. But as I say, getting back to the substitutions, I just wanted to make that point, but the substitutions were the right substitutions at the right time. And I think at the end of the day, as a coach, you live and die by your decisions.
Yeah.
Scaloni will be delighted. Deschamps probably not so much. And as I say, that's football.
Correct, Kevin?
Well, I would make a special mention to Alvarez. I mean, I made a comment a couple of days ago. I was laughed at a bit, but I was saying if Haaland puts 1 foot wrong at Man City, he loses the spot to Alvarez.
Yep.
What I saw from this young man, this tournament here, perfect replacement, not just for Man City, but for Argentina, for Sergio Aguero. I think he's a similar type player. He has that passion, that drive. He's quick, he's skillful, he can find the net. And I think, we are maybe looking at one of the best strikers in the world in the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
That's what I think, but players drift in and out. But I'll stick by my comment.
Right.
But it's funny you say that because, and this is the thing that I always find it comical when people argue about, the Messi, Ronaldo, Mbappe, and all these different players who they say is the best in the world. They're all different positions.
Yeah.
I mean, people look at Messi and Ronaldo and say they both play as a striker. They do not, because in amongst defence, midfield and attack, there is 100 different positions in between there and thereabouts. And this is the thing, so like you said about Alvarez, he is probably more of a complete striker than we've had in a long time. In terms of Haaland is playing at a team that, I mean, it kind of reminds me of when Beckham and Dwight York and Andy Cole were at Manchester United together. Dwight York and Andy Cole take nothing away from them, score a lot of their goals because the balls into the box were phenomenal. The service they had. And it's the same with Haaland. Again, phenomenal talent, but the balls he's getting into the box are wonderful. So when you take a player like Alvarez, you put him in there, he's also going to score. Same way if you put Ronaldo in there, you put Messi in there, they're going to score. So it's a very interesting conversation, and that's why I say it's not just as easy as saying who's the best in the world, because most of these players, unless you probably look at goalkeepers, play in different positions, in different roles, and they have different functions in teams, and that's where, as I say, the coaching background comes into it a little bit.
Well, yes. Well, I never use the term goat. Never, not even with Ronaldo, not even.
Kevin
with
doesn't
Messi.
like goats.
No.
Well, actually, he's Indian, so I'm sure he likes a lot of goat.
No,
Curry, only Curry.
All Trinidadians. All Trinidadians.
But
To be
why
fair.
I don't use it? I think it's for me is a respecting, because these players, all players around the world, dedicate their life. You know, at age 13, if you really follow football, they have to make the decision whether they want to be a professional footballer or not. And I could think what I was doing at 13 was far from deciding my future. So, you know, I think it's a disrespect for these players who dedicate their life and their heart, and they play, you know, dedicate their bodies out for this game, to call one person the greatest ever. But in terms of active players right now, we have to mention Lionel Messi. You know, he's won everything. He got his hands on the prized trophy. So we will say maybe of active players, he's probably the best right now.
Correct,
but I think each era has that player, and so we will have to probably give it to Messi now. But I don't ever use, you know, I have a lot of fans out there say I will never give Messi the kudos. I just did.
Yeah.
I don't use the term greatest of all time, because I think football, as we know, into the tactical side of things, changes so much. Now, yes, we could say Pele and Maradona would have ripped up this World Cup, but they may not have.
But it's funny you
Based
say
on
that,
what tactics
because
get.
the one thing is, remember, Pele and Maradona had a period they kind of played around the same era, and there's always at least two together, and this is why I laugh at Messi and Ronaldo played together.
Yeah.
So yes, as I say, Messi getting his hands on the trophy now, you know, may to some show that he is the greatest, but to me, there's always, it's not just one usually, it's always two. And at the end of the day, if there was not two, you would not probably remember the one as well, because it's a battle between two, and I think that's one thing you have to remember.
Well, P.S. Morgan, sorry,
No, go ahead.
made the comment that if a World Cup would have determined the greatest of all time, then we still would not been having the conversation, because Pele won 3, I think. Maradona won 2, but we still having the conversation. So even though, yes, Messi won, we might see Mbappe becoming the greatest of all time. We might see Haaland, we might see Alvarez, we might see a player that we haven't yet seen come up to be, that we might have this argument about. But what I would say is that let's just, whether you believe in God or not, thank whoever that we are alive to see this
guys.
era of players.
Yep.
We have Messi, we have Ronaldo, we have Mbappe, we have Haaland, we have Alvarez coming up, we have Fernandez coming up, we have so many players coming up. And I think we have to also say thanks that we can tell our kids and grandkids that we were alive for so far the best World Cup final ever. So let's just accept things as they are. We have a few great players, and you know, we can just say thanks for that. And right now, let's give Messi his kudos. He got his hands on it. So yeah.
Listen, folks, this is a debate. You know, that whole GOAT debate, it's something you get in all sports. You see it in basketball, you see it in football. I think it's just something that, you know, if you follow sports, everybody knows who their favorite player is, why you like them. I always thought it was stupid, if you ask me. I always got annoyed. I hated speaking about it. People don't know this. When Ronaldo first came out, I was one of his biggest fans. A lot of Manchester United fans told me I was ridiculous for liking him. And I said, this guy is good. And I was like, nah, typical Manchester United. One season guy. And, you know, I appreciate him for what he was.
Yeah.
And just like Messi, and there were other guys, you know. So, you know, this tournament, I think, speaking about the GOAT thing, kind of takes away from the overall performances of teams. It's a team sport. Players like DePaul, Martinez. I love Martinez in this tournament. You know, everybody's talking about Messi, and rightfully so. You know, now Messi has cemented himself as one of those guys, one of the GOATs, if we're going to use that. If we're going to use the GOATs, that's what we're going to use. We have a GOAT farm, lots of GOATs. But James, you'll appreciate this. The game came down to a penalty shootout. Emiliano Martinez has once again stood tall for Argentina. We spoke about that save just before before the extra time ended. What about Martinez though? When Scaloni took over, Argentina was in a mess in 2018. But this Martinez guy looks like the real deal. Maybe a big club is going to grab him soon.
No, one of the things I would say is one thing he has, with the exception of the goalkeeping ability, I mean, he's a fantastic goalkeeper, is he has that confidence, he has that arrogance, and I think that's what's needed to be one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Oliver Kahn had it when I think back to these guys, and there's so many, Peter Schmeichel had it, so all of these goalkeepers had that arrogance, and he has that, and as I say, that arrogance gives him that little bit extra, whether it becomes to penalty shootouts, and he's such a big frame, so to beat him has to take something really special, and I think that's what gives him that, you know, little X factor. And the funny thing is, I would go as far to say now he probably deserves a move to a bigger club. I mean, I made the point before, should he go to Man United? To me, Man United are not a big club anymore, so maybe he should go somewhere higher than that. But and
Where's
Man
Greg?
United fans will not hate, they will hate me for saying that, but my point is, he is on that level now that he should now get a step up. He now has his hands on the World Cup trophy, so he's phenomenal, fantastic goalkeeper. But as I say, there's been a lot in the tournament. When you think of the tournament, Bono, the Croatian goalkeeper, so much more.
We're not going to do that again,
and
trust me.
It was definitely a beautiful day.
Yeah, definitely. We're not going to do Kevin that again. Yeah. So, folks, we'll probably have another follow-up discussion where we discuss more tactics. This is it was supposed to be a quick reaction, but there were so many people. We wanted to get what the fans had to say. Comment in the comment section below, because we know there's a lot of people who have a lot to say, James.
And the one thing just to remember is we had so many prizes today. So at this point, we'll stop and just show you all those wonderful prizes that many of our fans got today.
So take a look, folks.
And then,
So after all those wonderful prizes, it was a great day. And at the end of the day, Andre, this is what it was all about.
Yes.
One team got their hands on it. You know, it was your team, so I'll push it closer to you.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it was a phenomenal World Cup. I mean, people talked about all the bad things that went on behind the scenes in Qatar, but I think from my perspective, it was brilliant. There was so much good on the field, because at the end of the day, that's what's most important.
Correct.
So from me, best World Cup ever. I don't know about you two, but I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Kevin, what are your final thoughts?
Final thoughts, I agree with James, best World Cup ever. And if this is a taste of the World Cups to come, I mean, I think, you know, us and future fans are in for an incredible treat where we see, whether it's the tactical side of things, whatever is making football just become better and better. It just keeps getting better and better. So, you know, I would have liked maybe for a smaller team to win it. I would have said, not anything against Argentina or France. If a smaller team had won it, the next World Cup would have been even better, because you know everybody would have this belief that a good run could take us all the way. But I think Morocco and Croatia did very well for themselves. In the end, I think maybe, barring the first game, maybe the team with the most fight just about won it. You know, a lot of people said they had to scrape through games or fight through games, but I think I made it point in another show where sometimes that solidifies you as a team, where you know that you could fight and get through games. So
well, you always say something. Sometimes you have to lose to win.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly what's happened here for Argentina.
Yeah, correct. That first game, I think, was a slap in the face we needed. We all spoke about that. Yeah. We all said, you know, patting ourselves on the back here, pat. We all said it was going to be a high-scoring game. Yeah. All three of us. We all agreed it was going to be insane, and it was. Now, turning off fanboy mode, back into analysis mode, as a neutral, if I put myself in a neutral mode, which I'm not, but I'm going to do that now. You know, this game was absolutely the best game I've ever seen. This tournament has been the absolute best I've ever seen. Yep. And folks, you can let us know in the comment section below, what do you think? This game could have gone anyway. We will be sitting down and dissecting this game, I believe, for years to come. People will be talking about this. This will be the time Messi and Mbappe face off. Maybe the passing of the baton in a lot of ways. Yeah. Messi gets a ride off into the sunset. Mbappe comes in. Messi had his disappointments. Mbappe will probably look back on this maybe at the next World Cup. Come and just tear everybody apart. We don't know with PSG as well. So, what a World Cup it's been. Folks, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment in the comment section below. We're going to do more videos, folks. We're definitely going to do more videos. We'll sit down and do a bit more of our usual analysis. Yeah. This is more of the emotional reaction to the game by fans. It has been an absolute blast here today. We're going to put some footage up on the social media, even on this video, where people were just celebrating from both sides. The emotional levels on both teams. There was highs, there was lows, there was intensity. I was on the floor somewhere, and then I was up, and then I was walking around. James was massaging my shoulders. I don't know. Maybe it was James. I don't know. Hopefully it was James. So, folks, you know, be sure to, you know, continue to support us. We'll have some episodes coming up. We'll continue the greatest show on earth, as James always says. But, you know, James, before we go, we want to end things off, but we want to tell people about why we had the tournament here.
Well, as I say, we know Smoky and Bunty's is one of the most iconic bars in Trinidad and Tobago. People come from outside of Trinidad to visit it. They have so much memorabilia inside. They obviously have that wonderful partnership between Smoky and Bunty that obviously solidified the bar. And we had all those prizes. And as I say, if you had been here today, you would have seen the fans come out here. It was beautiful what Stag did for the day. They had done so many wonderful things. And as I say, we had a great time. And at the end of the day, football is fun. I always say it. People, you know, laugh at coaches sometimes for saying that, but football should be fun. If it's not fun, you should not be playing it. And at the end of the day, football showed today that it was fun. And as I say, it was fun here at Smoky and Bunty's. So from myself, Kev and Andre, I mean, I don't know if Kev wants to say anything to finish, but it was a wonderful day. And as I say, we said that in the last episode, we may continue the greatest show on earth, and I think one of the things the fans have showed us that you all love it. So we will definitely continue. So make sure, like I said, we always continue to follow the greatest show on earth.
Yeah, yeah.